Sawadee krap. Good evening and welcome to the June 18th, 2023 edition of SIT, Sunday in Thailand with me, Varin Sachdev, your host. And let us clarify before we begin the show that the show not only focuses on Thai politics, we focus on various issues depending on the week. But this week, it seems like we're not getting away from politics, not until Thailand get the newly elected government in place. So today we'll be exploring whether Thai people, when they go to a voting booth or voting stations, are they left or are they right? Or are we in the middle? Well, to see left or right, you have to be in the middle. No news in Thailand, of course, this week could beat the news surrounding Pitha still. And he's the leader of the Move Forward Party. And the news also has been focusing more on its elected members of the parliament. The Move Forward Party. While MPs from other parties lay low waiting for the forming of the government and the first parliamentary session, Mr. Pitha has been busy meeting with influential groups of people and his supporters. He keeps passing remarks that continue to confuse those who don't understand Thailand's parliamentary system with narratives such as why doesn't the Election Commission of Thailand hurry and certify the elected members of the parliament so I can be in the parliament and start working. The Election Commission of Thailand, or ECT, has announced all along that the certification of elected MPs will be within the month of June. At least, they have 60 days to work. It's taking time because it needs to conduct thorough investigation that each elected MP is fully qualified according to the election laws and that there's no complaint filed against them. So far today, more than 300 MPs have been certified by ECT. And while waiting for the time when the new government is formed and the first parliamentary session is held, which is expected to be in August or even later, political activists and social commentators alike have come out to criticize political issues. And often that criticism disregards the actual facts such as the parliamentary system or the procedures which need to be followed step by step. And sometimes they try to make connection between the ongoing issues with things that are the opposite of the present situation. Narratives like the present government is a military regime ignores the fact that despite the coup d'etat staged 9 years ago, General Prayut's government comes from a democratic system. There was a general election in 2019 from which Palang Pracharat Party formed the government and nominated General Prayut for Prime Minister. At that time, Palang Pracharat was a new political party and the victory with the second largest votes after Pheu Thai Party derived from the popularity and satisfaction in General Prayut alone. But the narratives from the past 4 years never recognized the democratic status of the government. On the contrary, critics and media kept referring to the government as dictatorship and authoritarianism. They keep doing so up until now, while the international community has already recognized the Thai government in the past 4 years as a legitimate democratic government with cooperation agreements made with countries around the world and with recognition of Thailand's success in several areas, including financial status, COVID-19 control and care efficiency, tourism, and foreign investments. Such achievements can be proven by rankings made by reliable press and research organizations easily available on the internet. On June 10th, a university professor gave talk on Matichon TV. There was a symposium organized at the Faculty of Political Science at Thammasat University. The event, entitled To Be Born a Prime Minister in Thailand, saw a number of well-known figures in Thailand's academia who expressed their point of view about how Thailand produced its prime minister, from repeated military regimes or from a democratic election. She referred to 15 out of 29 prime ministers of Thailand came from the military background. In other words, 50% of Thailand's leaders had military power. This kind of statistics could make a listener get the impression that Thailand has always been under the military influences. Going back to June 10th, another university professor made a reference to the recent election by saying that this was the first time that the right wing lost to the left wing. She quoted that through many decades, the right wing has always won. Obviously, the left wing in this context refers to Kao Klai party and its voters, and the right wing is other political parties and their supporters. Identifying the Thai people as left wing and right wing is definitely confusing and unclear. Who in Thailand is on the left and who on the right? One wonders. And joining me once again this Sunday is Kun Pat Sangtham, who is the editor-in-chief of Benchmark Media.Asia and also my co-host, my co-editor for our other morning show on Nomad Media Thailand Morning Call. Pat, so am I left or right? I cannot really identify myself as the left or right. Is there something wrong with me?
Are we talking politics already?
Well, with that introduction, yes, of course, we are talking politics already. Yes.
June is the Pride Month, and we've been talking about LGBTQ equality and freedom and all that, and the word non-binary has been heard all the time. So when it comes to politics or anything else, are we talking binary or are we talking non-binary? Left and right seems binary for me. So do you fit into a binary situation or scenario?
Well, to be honest, when I go to a voting booth and I look at the candidates, sometimes, especially the constituent candidate, I don't even know them because we are split into the party list and also the constituent. So I would know who I would vote for the party list, who I want to have as the next prime minister. But when it comes to constituent, you hardly get to meet them, but you vote for the party instead without even sometimes knowing them. So, but I don't base my judgment on am I being left or right. So does that apply to Thai politics?
Well, it's a very narrow perspective. If you walk up to someone or if you meet some people at a party or at a meeting and you start a conversation about politics, and each person expresses their point of view, you can't really put a label on them, whether they're left or right, especially in Thailand, where the majority of people here are Buddhists. And there's a thing in Buddhist faith called the middle ground or the center. So that already we have non-binary. It's if you're talking about left, right, you have to talk about center as well. And if you look at the whole spectrum, you have the extreme left, extreme right, and you even have those who are not even in the center or in the middle because they don't know anything much about politics. So when it comes to voting or like in general election, I don't think people care at all whether the politicians that they're cheering on or the political party that they support is left or right. I think they're thinking more about personal gain. There are those who have ideology and, ideal people that they would vote for. But I don't think people consciously think of themselves as being left or right. And to me, the term left wing, right wing is like romancing the 70s. Are you like romancing postmodernism or something? Same as, the word authoritarianism or feminism. It's so 70.
Well, from my observation, when I look at the political parties, I don't think they themselves, label themselves as being right or left. It's only coming from the political analyst or the academicians or the media who are trying to label them as left and right and confusing the public because many people that I've spoken to, they even voted for Kun Pitha, based on his look. So it's actually the politics of look in Thailand, not just like the quality. And sometimes they don't even know the details of the campaign or the policies. And we see bits and pieces of everything in every political parties as well, especially the populism policies.
I share that experience with you. I was growing up in the 70s. I went to school in the States in the 70s and in the 80s. And back in Thailand, we had some political turmoil, student movements, and all that. So we heard a lot about left and right, left wing, right wing, and all that. But in the United States, we learned from the textbook just a little. But students and professors didn't get crazy about being left or right. So I think it's kind of old fashioned. And so I'm also surprised that when I see articles or watch shows on TV where scholars and academicians talk about left and right, and I'm asking, where am I? Do we really have left and right in Thailand in year 2020, 2023, and all that? How do you identify them? How do you define being left or being right in Thailand now? Let's give an example. I can think of an example. There was a concert yesterday, and this very famous female singer, she recorded, her voice is the voice that people hear in the theaters and cinemas. It's the royal anthem. And so people take it for granted that she's a royalist, so she must be right. And then when Gao Gai party had the victory at the general election, she extended her congratulations to the party. And then her fan base got really upset and disappointed. And so this vocalist was bombarded with comments that they were so disappointed. And she came out to explain that she would like the country to have a chance with the new generation. So is she left? But she, sings the royal anthem, and she confirmed that even though she's choosing something that she thinks is kind of liberal and progressive for Thailand, but she will protect the king and the monarchy, to the day she die. So how do you label this particular vocalist, left or right?
I
So
don't
she's non-binary.
She's non-binary, yes. I mean, and like many of us, actually, yes, yeah. You have to go by, in the issue. Not you cannot actually generalize us that we're being left or right. I mean, and for me personally, that doesn't apply to me at all. And I think you're referring to Kun Jennifer Kim, right? Am I
Yes,
am I right?
yes,
Yes.
exactly. And then there are many other celebrities and singers and actors who are pretty much the same as she is. We have Doon Body Slam. How would you identify him in terms of being left or right?
We would know. I would
No.
know.
I mean, he was cheering on Gao Gai party,
Mm.
so he sounds left, but then he isn't against the monarchy. He wouldn't discuss this at all, and all kinds of charitable work that he's been doing. How do you label a person? First of all, these academicians and scholars, when they write about being left or right, they uh examine the behaviors of the people. And, some of them say that those who uphold the three pillars of the country, which is the nation, religion, and the king. These are the three pillars in Thai Chat Sasana, Pramahakasat. And so, they put a label on the people who revere these three pillars. So if you are left, you must be liberal in your thinking. And so you want to move away, you want to relocate, you don't want to live in Thailand, you're against traditions and religious practice, and of course you want to oust the monarchy.
See,
So
I mean,
do
I'm
you
basing this on my own personal experience. I'm very liberal. I'm not conservative, but I still revere these major institutions. That's reflected in our flags, the country, the nation, the religion, regardless of being a Buddhism. It can be any religion, but of course, for Thailand, it's Buddhism, but also the royal institution, the monarch.
Yeah, I want to give another example. Back in year, I think 2005 and to 2014, when millions of people came out on the street to protest, to actually overthrow the corrupt regime, millions of people, day after day, for 7 months. You think that these people are righteous, royalists? No, they want to eliminate the wrong. They want to make the country right. They want to fight for the right. They want our society to be righteous. And so they don't, but they share the same thing. These people, they uphold the three pillars: nation, religion, and the king. So these scholars decide to put a label on them. This must be the right. These millions of people, they come from all walks of life, all economic status. There are people who are not very well to do, but I believe the majority is the middle class and the wealthy. When they have time, they join the demonstration and then make donation day after day after day. I believe that the majority of the budget to feed the people who join the demonstration come from the middle class. I myself and my colleague professors at the university we're working not very far from the demonstration location. We would go there, and then almost every day we donate sometimes 100, 300, and we made a lot of friends. And so I know that the majority of the people who fight for the right eliminate the wrong. They are not leftists or rightists. They just want to create a livable and just society.
You're referring to when the Yingluck administration was trying to pass the amnesty bill at 4 a.m. in the morning, and well, I can proudly say that I'm also one of the protesters, but I'm not. I'm not. Well, I wanted to protest this act of passing the amnesty bill, but that doesn't mean that I'm supportive of the Gopoposo or the Democrat Party. It wasn't that. It was something else. You're right.
That's what I mean. People are out there to join forces to fight for the right, to create a righteous society, eliminate the wrong. And you cannot just look at them and say, oh, because they uphold the monarchy, they must be royalists. And so they're right. You just don't do that. You're putting down other people.
Yes, Gopoposo is PPRP, right? I mean, if our international audience wanted to look it up, it's PPRP, if I'm not mistaken. It's the name of the movement.
Yeah, the first major demonstration which I mentioned in 2005, that's the Pantamit or the PAD, People Alliance for Democracy.
The PAD, yes, yeah. Anyway, so well, I've been speaking to our potential sponsors, and they're a bit concerned that we are only talking about Thai politics and we're taking side. We are not, right? I mean, and we're just analyzing, and we just want to give our international audience, based in Thailand and also around the world, the perspective from a Thai media.
Well, I think it's fashionable to relate everything to politics. What we've been talking about today, being left, being right, could sound like politics, but actually, when I'm talking about this, I'm thinking about everything in our life. That's why I mentioned the Buddhist faith. that we have the middle ground. So, you know, it's not always politics, but because these days, politics is the hottest issue. But, you know, we have been working together for how long? Couldn't we since the
I lost
TNN day?
I lost
And we're
count.
talking, yeah, well, we're talking about music, we're talking about art, we're talking about cultural events, but we're doing this English program to help you know foreigners and our foreign audience to have a glimpse of what's going on in Thailand. So if there's a cultural issue that really is the headline, of course we will talk about it. And as I mentioned, you know, we don't have a fixed agenda. It doesn't have to be politics all the time. And of course, my expertise is also in art and culture and music. So I would enjoy that if you bring up the topic.
Absolutely, we will. And we look forward to receiving your support. You're watching our potential sponsors. And that's a wrap for today's edition of Sunday in Thailand on June 18th, 2023. I'm Varin Sachadeo signing off together with Kun Pat Sangtham, our co-host for today, the editor-in-chief of benchmarkmedia.asia, and also my co-host on other show, Thailand Morning Call, our daily show weekdays morning news on Nomad Media Thailand. We are both signing off. Swadee krap.
Swadee krap.